last night the NBA Finals were set. It will be Thunder versus Pacers, and we have a lot to say about it. We're going to talk about both series. We're going to talk about the finals. We're going to preview it, give our predictions, all of that kind of stuff, because I have a lot to say about these series that just happened. We're going to start with the East. The Indiana Pacers last night just beat the New York Knicks in 6 games, and congrats to the Pacers. They've been underdogs like the entire year. I think even through the entire playoffs, they were underdogs as well, even though they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And congrats to them. I'll get back to them unless you guys want to say something real quick. But I want to piss. Well, I want to. Okay. I want to. No, we're keeping this in. We're keeping this in. I want to shit on the Knicks for a second, dude. Because I'm not gonna lie, even though I predicted the Pacers to win this series, the Knicks should have won it. Because their players really pissed me off, dude. Mikal Bridges, I want to start with giving credit. Brunson played amazing up until like that very last game where he wasn't great, but he still had some timely buckets. The rest of the New York Knicks really pissed me off with inconsistency because of how talented they actually are, but they don't want to buy in my opinion, which sounds stupid because they just made the Eastern Conference Finals and they won in 6. But I think once you get here, they should have won the series. Mikal Bridges was traded for 5 first-round picks and was soft. Incredibly soft this series. Wouldn't go up for a layup. Wouldn't do anything. He has a wide-open layup on the fast break and shoots a fadeaway from 5 feet on the fast break. You trade 5 first-round picks for him, and he's going to be like this. He's not going to play dirty, even though you have him as like the 4th option. You know, he's not supposed to average 22 points. He's supposed to make the dirty plays. He doesn't. Someone ought to fucking lit some dynamite under his fucking ball sack to get him going, dude. Like, seriously, I'm fucking pissed. Because, Cam, you were talking all this shit about how good Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are, and exactly what I said happened. Yes, individually they're good players, but you have to buy in, and these guys aren't making the dirty plays. They're not as good. Like, their defense was all right, sure, but they weren't stopping shit against the Pacers. No. And they should have won this series. You play for New York. Play dirty. You know what the streets of New York are. They're dirty. Play just like them.
Fair.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right about what happened in the series with the supporting players, for sure. The one thing I would say about the whole 5 first-round picks thing, no matter how good Bridges played, that was always going to be an overpay. We knew that from the beginning.
We did.
That was just with the Knicks. Like, 5 first-round picks for anyone who's not a superstar is probably an overpay, right? I'll give Bridges some credit, too. He played good against the Celtics, had 2 really impactful defensive plays in that series that won them games 1 and 2. So when it comes right down to it, there's the good and there's the bad. Obviously, they didn't perform as well as you would have liked them to. But one thing that really got highlighted for me in Game 6 was just the coaching disadvantage that the Knicks have. Tom Thibodeau obviously is a successful coach in terms of regular season success and some playoff success, but he just got flat out coached in every aspect of the game by Rick Carlisle during the series. He was running a 9-man rotation in the first quarter. Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright, like there was 4 bench players on the court at one point, and Mitchell Robinson played 11 minutes to start the game. It just, like, he was tired. He was exhausted by the end of the first quarter. You have gone with this philosophy of like a 7-8-man rotation for the entire season. Why are you running a 9-man rotation in the first quarter of Game 6? What compels you to do that at that point in time? And also, what you said about Tom Thibodeau is absolutely true. I don't think he knows offense. I think you need another guy on the coaching staff that knows offense, because he does not.
For Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, Jalen Brunson, like he's gotten these guys that run offense. But I was watching the Knicks offense, and it was bad. But as bad as or not as not bad, but disappointing as Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby were, there's a different guy that I'm actually more upset with.
Please say it.
And that's Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, yeah.
Who are you to say?
Josh Hart.
Oh, Josh Hart was bad too.
Josh Hart was unplayable.
He was bad.
How do you get benched for Mitchell Robinson?
Yeah, but also I don't expect as much from Josh Hart as the other.
But he didn't look like an NBA player.
He didn't. No.
But no. I mean, so here's the thing about Karl Anthony Towns. He is an incredible offensive player, right? He has, one of the best skill sets we've seen from a big ever, in terms of offense, right? His defense is awful. Like, atrocious. There was so many times this dude just left guys wide open on the 3-point line, and I could tell whether it was a lack of ability to get out there or just a lack of effort, honestly. And he's getting paid $53 million next year. For reference, Jalen Brunson's getting $34 million. So if you're going to be the highest billing player on the team, even if you're not the best player, you got to play both ends of the court. And he's just like, there was points last night where as good as his offense can be, you would almost rather him be off the court because his defense was just that bad.
Yeah. I also say that I'm just as pissed because Brunson is getting paid $34 million. He did take a pay cut for his contract, and the players he took a pay cut for are playing terrible. That's my opinion. Yeah, Tibbs for some reason went away from. I mean, in that game 5 or whatever, I swear the Knicks were up 30 against the Celtics, or game 6, whatever it was, and then Tibbs had the starters in until like 3 minutes left, or like 4 minutes left. But yet, in a crucial game, you're gonna take your starters out early. Like it just kind of pisses me off. Early in the first quarter, I think the Knicks, even though I picked the Pacers, I still think the Knicks should have won. And like you said, like the trade was always gonna happen. It was always a bad trade, yeah. But every year that they don't make the finals or win the finals, it's only gonna be worse because they're just gonna like. You know what? I'm actually not that mad at the Mikal Bridges trade because I kind of realized the Knicks can't draft. I don't remember the last time the Knicks made like a
they don't
crucial.
got a single drafted player besides McBride in that rotation.
Yeah, everyone was traded for. Who were they really drafting? They didn't draft Randall. They didn't draft like their big draft picks were Frank Ntilikina,
Mitchell Robinson,
Obi Toppin. Mitch Robinson's a good draft pick. Obi Toppin, like he was a top 10 pick, you know.
Yeah.
And he's on the Pacers. Obi Toppin just whooped ass. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in them. Do you have anything to say, Mateen? Just about the Knicks specifically.
I think the Knicks had a disappointing series, but I think you guys are being a little critical. No one really, I mean, be fair, no one really expected the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
I think they overachieved a little bit.
Pacers?
Yeah, the Pacers really overachieved. I think the Knicks also had a really good season. You can't really minimize the fact that they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. They had a good season. I don't. With that being said, they also should have capitalized on playing the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think they're gonna be back here, like in the spot like where they were this year. I think the team's gonna be a lot different next year. A lot of people are saying they should cash in on Cat, but I think he had a good year. I think Cat had a good year on the Knicks. He was a big part of their success. I can't see why they would trade him after 1 year or one bad series. But I do think a lot of changes are coming, whether it's with Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, or Mikal. One of those three I think are gone, and I think it's going to be leaning towards Josh Hart. And I think they just need some bench depth because DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, McBride, as good as McBride is, next 2 other guards, like they need something off that bench.
Absolutely, yeah. They've got no guard depth.
You think if the GM will think about Brunson and Hart's relationship, obviously having a podcast together, like Brunson's your guy. Are you going to trade his guy, who by the way was good all season?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. The tough part about it is,
I mean they traded DiVincenzo.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. For another Villanova guy. Oh no. Sorry, that was
They traded him.
yeah, they were. It was a different.
I mean, I don't know. So for me, with the Knicks, it's like I feel like those 5 guys did have good seasons, though, for the most part. Some of them were disappointing in this playoff series, but
How else do you get a bench? You have to sign.
You gotta
that's the problem.
you gotta sacrifice it some.
So I don't know. I'll pull up their salary table right now because I just have it up. But the guys they have under contract next year. So the only guys that played any sort of minutes this year, I won't even throw DeLon Wright in this conversation because he didn't really even play until the playoffs. Precious Achiuwa and Campaign and Landry Shamet. Those are the only 3 guys that saw any minutes of note during the regular season, and even then they were running a short rotation that are going to be free agents this year. So you can essentially run it back with the same team, but they are already over the salary cap. The problem is, dude, I get Josh Hart wasn't good. He's on a $19 million contract next year. So in terms of the value you're getting for that money, I don't know that you're going to get that anywhere else. I got to be honest, like looking at their roster, I know you don't give him up this year. You give it another year. Karl-Anthony Towns is only going to get paid more and more money. And when you look at the value for his contract, it's him or OG, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's a big team out east that's gonna make moves this summer, and if I'm the Knicks, I call Boston to see where Jaylen Brown's at. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I gotta test that value.
Except-
I mean,
they don't have any picks.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
No.
It was like if they're interested in just a swap, like
look,
you got to
Swap. Who's the swap?
or like a
Yeah,
Derek
I
White.
look at
If they get Derek White,
100% Derek.
if they can get a Derek White, that'd be a big move.
I don't think they can, because if they trade Derek White, they're trying to go younger. They're trying to go like better contracts. Every Nick,
It's not. It's
Hart-
not about. I don't think.
I mean, OG is young.
the Celtics aren't trying to go younger. It's just a salary bill thing. They're way over the salary cap,
yeah,
so the Celtics have to trade someone.
we'll see something.
Or don't get back in New York.
That'd be great.
Like you said, New York had a good year this year. I think some of those guys played better. They win this series.
I think if they win Game 1, it's a different series.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think running it back with the same group is the worst idea in the world. I do think that Karl-Anthony Towns contract, if he does not improve his play on the defensive end, just starts to look worse and worse. because he's gonna get paid $61 million in 27-28.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think Cat's defense. I mean, it is like a big problem, but it's also just the fact that Brunson and Cat play together. And you're not going to let go of Brunson anytime. So I think eventually it might have to be Cat. One thing I will say, the team is like, yeah, we didn't expect the Knicks to make it this far, but also like we expected them to win in the first round, right?
Who they play?
The
Oh,
Pistons, but
what's the
like
close
anything,
series?
like if it was the Pistons, if it was who was the 7th seed? Crap, I already forgot. Who did the Celtics play? Yeah.
No, Magic.
Oh, was it the Magic? They were expected
Expect
to beat the
Yeah,
Magic.
you don't expect them to beat Boston. You just don't.
You don't, but
And there's an argument that if Tatum doesn't tear his
Yeah.
Achilles, they could have won that game. Boston's come back from down 3-0 before.
Yeah.
it's
but
crazy.
also the Knicks were completely healthy. I think any year where a team that's like a top 5 seed is completely healthy, they always have this chance of making the conference finals
That is
because
true.
like so many injuries can happen in the playoffs. And then like once you are this far,
except the Rockets.
Yeah.
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 no, that's true.
The Lakers.
Yeah. That's just roster construction, though.
Yeah.
But once you make it that far, there's no guarantee that you're ever going back
Yeah.
because of how bad injuries can be. And your coach is Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, maybe Mikal Bridges needs to start missing some games in the regular season so that he can,
Yeah.
maybe start trying some more. I don't know. That's what pisses me off. But yeah, we can move on to the Pacers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's give the Pacers their flowers. Obviously, nobody expected this at the start of the year. No one expected it at the start of the playoffs. No one expected it at the start of the second round, I'd say even. It's like no one would have said Pacers are going to the finals.
No one except those cocky ass Pacers fans. There's a lot of them. No, they.
Alright.
You know what? Credit to them because they're right?
Yep.
But Pacers fans are cocky as hell. Like,
And to be fair, the Pacers had a really bad start to the year, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
They had a really bad start. And then after the All-Star break, or even after the New Year, I think
Tyrese had a bad start too.
they went on a crazy run after that, and looked like one of the best teams in basketball. I think a big part of this Pacers team, and I hate to say it, but Rick Carlisle, he's on his shit again. Like I never thought I'd say that after the stint he had with Luka in Dallas, but he's outcoached I think every playoff series. He's outcoached the other coach. It'd be interesting to see if he can replicate his 2011 finals against the Thunder, but that's a conversation for a different time. Yeah.
2011, they played the Heat.
The Mavs played the Heat and they won. It was an upset.
Oh, you meant playing against the Thunder this year. Yeah.
See if he can recreate some magic, but
No, I mean, he could. I mean, not to discredit him at all, I will just say the coaches he's coached against are Doc Rivers, first year Kenny Atkinson, and Tom Thibodeau, guys who historically, or not historically Kenny Atkinson, but being a first year coach, but Doc Rivers and Thibodeau are historically guys who coaching style has been definitely.
I mean, you could say this. You could say the same thing about Carlisle, though.
You could, yeah, you could. I mean, it'll be interesting. I think Daigneault is the best coach he's had to coach against this playoffs.
Yeah, by far.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, the Pacers are really impressive to me. I mean, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that they wouldn't have an All-Star, Halliburton would have his worst season in the last 3 years, and they would make the finals, I would have told you you're crazy. But credit to really the scheme and the guys they put around him, because it's really an example of fit over talent when it comes right down to it. Because the Pacers have been outmatched in talent, at least in 2 series they've played. And you wouldn't say that about the Bucks, but the Bucks had far and away the best player in that series, right? The
Yeah.
Pacers scheme and the guys they put around their stars of Tyrese Halliburton and Siakam to succeed. It's just a really well constructed roster, and they really know their identity and they know what they do well, and they just execute that. So
Yeah.
Shout out them. Bettine, you might know about this, but a year ago, maybe it was even 2 years ago, there was a big narrative going on around Twitter that Tyrese Halliburton was like one of the worst defenders in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't.
Like probably people were saying the worst.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of was. He wasn't. It wasn't that bad at the time, but it was bad.
It was an effort thing.
Yeah, dude, he's been a good defender in these playoffs.
He has
Like
the tools to be a good defender.
specifically, even like I'm not even on ball. He's all right? But like he actually makes like plays off ball. Like especially this is kind of a throwback because it was in the first round, but I think it was the end of like game 5 when they went into OT and then Halliburton hit like the game winner or whatever. He got like I swear it was like 3 passing lane steals or like strip steals in the last like 2 or 3 minutes, just making plays. And overall, like I've always kind of thought of the Pacers as this like very non-defensive team, but when you think about them individually, outside of historically Halliburton, like Nembhard, good defender, Nesmith, good to great defender. Siakam, good. Miles Turner, good. Like, it is a bunch of solid guys. And as long as they're trying, which they do, and that's how they've, been winning, it's just effort. That's really all it's been. Like, they've just out-hustled every single team. They full court press. Not full court. Well, sometimes they actually do full court press.
Almost the whole game 6 yesterday.
Did they?
Yeah,
Wow.
they almost full court press from like the jump. I think they might have. The whole game, like literally a college defense. You know what I mean? And it's like
For that college basketball state, in Indiana.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out the Pacers. One thing I will say that pisses me off is Halliburton did not get the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And what are we doing here? So, like, okay, Halliburton doesn't get it this year. Cool. Jason Tatum doesn't get it last year. Cool.
Tatum got it last.
the Finals MVP.
Oh, the finals MVP. Okay.
No, I swear Jaylen Brown also got the Eastern Conference.
No.
No?
Tatum got Eastern Conference too.
You sure? Okay, now let's say finals, right?
Yeah.
In 2023, if we're going by this logic, Jimmy Butler should not have gotten that. It should have been Caleb Martin. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That dude was hitting and hitting and hitting threes at, like, I swear he shot like over 60% from three.
Yeah, no, he was.
If we're talking about who plays the best, who's shooting the best, then we give it to Caleb Martin. If not, the Pacers are Tyrese Halliburton. Yes, did Siakam step up? Yes, did he average like 50% from three? He did, and he stepped up when it mattered. But the Pacers don't win without Halliburton. The Pacers are Halliburton. He runs everything. And I guess this is kind of like, maybe you can say all point guards kind of run the offense. But no, Halliburton is the Pacers. He made the clutch shots as well as Siakam. I want to give Siakam credit. I do. And I'm not saying this is entirely, like, I might be exaggerating this, obviously. But when you think about the 2021 Bucks with Giannis and Middleton, Siakam kind of is that Middleton. He kind of is like low-key like the Batman in some ways of just like 3-level score. He can hit a shot at any time. But like Tyrese Halliburton, he's just the whole team. It just really did piss me off. Like what? Because he averaged 3 more points per game and was more efficient. Like if you watch the games, there's no way you're telling me that Siakam deserved it.
No, that's valid.
That's only like a box score thing of like seeing after. Like I didn't even know if Siakam was that efficient until I looked at the box score. You just watch the game, it was Halliburton.
Yeah.
I don't even know. By the way, who the hell is voting for these? I only recognize one name. That was Reggie Miller. Did you guys see the voting list? It's literally just a bunch of random reporters, which I guess like they don't want to be biased. Fine, but I don't know. I'm not saying I should be voting, but like someone credible should be. That's not some dude who just types on his computer.
Yeah.
That pisses me off. But yeah, shout out the Pacers. Underdogs the entire season, entire playoffs. Neesmith fighting his ass off, even got hurt one of the games, still has come back. Miles Turner just being a bucket somehow. And then, yeah, Siakam stepping up because in that second round, Siakam was not great against the Cavaliers. And I was pretty worried about that going into round 3, but he hooped his ass off. You have anything else to say?
I mean, just one thing on the whole conference finals MVP thing. I think it's a different circumstance than the Jimmy Butler thing, because if you're talking about quality of play, then yeah, Caleb Martin probably deserved it. But they're different circumstances because Jaylen Brown is looked at in a lot of ways as a co-star to Jason Tatum. I mean, yeah, Jason Tatum is the better player. He's the first option, but they're much more on the level of being like co-stars than they are being like, a Chris Middleton and a Giannis. And the same thing with Tyrese and Siakam even more, because neither of them made the All-Star team. Tyrese isn't like this definitive superstar.
I think he's been playing like a superstar these whole playoffs.
No, and that's totally valid. I'm just saying, like, the NBA is not the MLB, where in baseball, they will just give whoever is, like, hitting the best the ALCS MVP or the NLCS MVP. It really doesn't matter who it is. It could be any one of the guys 1 through 9 in the lineup. It could be a pinch hitter for all we know. But the NBA is all about marketing, and it's all about the stars. So Jimmy Butler was always going to get that conference finals MVP, or it would be maybe like Bam Adebayo. Caleb Martin was never getting it just because the NBA doesn't want that.
Yeah, it was always Jimmy because he deserved it, just like Tyrese did.
So if Tyrese was on this level of being like the clear number 1 option, which he is within the offense, but he's not like this clear like number 1 scoring option, then I think they give it to him, regardless of like how he plays. But the fact that him and Siakam are kind of co-stars on this team, or at least that's the way.
I'm not gonna lie. The NBA would have gave Caleb Martin the MVP because I saw Andre Iguodala win a Finals MVP.
Yeah, because Iggy Bailey was playing the best.
That was the first year of Steph Curry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Like, Iggy was good.
I
mean, you're right, but that just, again, and I always say this, it's just a testament to how good LeBron was at that point in time, that you could hold a guy to 35, 8 and 8, basically, on like below 40, and he shot below 40%, but he still put up those numbers and win Finals MVP. that's just a testament to how good LeBron was at that point.
I just think Curry got robbed.
He did, but like it's all about perspectives at that point in time.
But like, do these voters not realize that these awards go down in the history books? We're gonna say Siakam led the team. No, Siakam didn't lead anything. I think leadership does matter, by the way. And Halliburton led the team. He was the leader. He was the engine. I don't care who's playing better. I just think that's stupid.
Corey, I agree that Tyrese should have won it, like 100%. I'm just saying, in terms of the logic for it, it's not it's like if they gave it to it was between like let's say Andrew Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton, right?
Right.
No matter how good Andrew Nembhard plays, if it is distinctly close, Tyrese Halliburton's going to win the award.
I guess I've just always seen Halliburton as a tier higher than Siakam. Maybe I'm crazy for that, but I don't know. Also, what's your guys' opinion? I haven't seen this going around, but I've been thinking about this. Like, should there even be a conference finals MVP, or should there just be an Eastern playoff MVP? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of would rather have just the whole playoff run MVP, or like the whole Eastern Conference.
I don't think it should be an award in general. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you're not wrong, but if there is gonna be an award, like, why would that third round matter that much more than the first two? I understand like the finals having its own thing, right? But like, if you're gonna do the third round, just do all 3 rounds.
Because it rewards winning.
Yeah.
I think that's the point of it. Is like it's like okay.
But I think no matter what, you can give
the
it.
best player in the playoffs in the East this year. It was Giannis, but he won 1 game. Are you going to give a player an award, a playoff award for winning 1 game?
No, I'd give it to Halliburton because he won it. We've never seen a loser win the.
But I mean, then Halliburton, I don't know. So I guess I get what you're saying. Like it should be the entire run, maybe instead of just like an Eastern Conference Finals MVP. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That actually makes
So still the winner, like the winning team gets a player that wins it, right? It's just that
makes a lot more sense actually.
because I think just even like now what are they gonna market Siakam more than Halliburton? No. So I feel like it would just even make sense for them to do that. And then for me, I just feel like Halliburton deserves it more. So
yeah.
I don't know. Because if you're just nitpicking those 6 games and it's not the NBA Finals, I don't see the point in that.
Kind of crazy that Pascal Siakam has won a conference finals MVP and LeBron never has. And neither is Michael Jordan.
For real.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have to say. We'll preview the finals after we talk about. Seems like so long ago, but the Thunder Timberwolves. It kind of was a long.
That series was over quick.
They started it first and packed it up.
And the
first.
series was over before it was actually over. Yeah, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think there's much to say. From the West, I think the East was a lot more talk, but the West, I think it was just kind of just the Thunder are just that much better than every team in the West. And you gotta give them the respect. I mean, I was kind of hating on them the whole year. I thought they were too young to kind of make a run, but they've just shown their dominance. J-Dub took a big step in that series versus the Thunder versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant was extremely disappointing in that series. I will say that. I think that's the biggest talking point is Ant was not aggressive enough as he should have been for the Timberwolves to win.
No, that game 1 pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because I understand that he got hurt in the middle of the game, but he came back before halftime. And then he just shot 0 shots in the second half. Julius Randle pissed me off more because, yes, he was bad the entire series, and we can talk about that. But game 1, he was great, and then stopped shooting the ball and they just kept relying on guys like Dante DiVincenzo in OKC. And then the fact that in Minnesota, I'm pretty sure both games in Minnesota, the role players were great. And then one of the games they won, and the other game, and Julius Randle could not capitalize, especially because Julius Randle was just terrible in general. After game 1, he was awful. He not only like body language, he was lost, but he just couldn't make a shot. He threw the dumbest passes, or not even that, because a lot of times actually he did get like stripped because I mean the OKC defense is that good, right? But turnovers are still turnovers. He was supposed to be the secondary playmaking guy who stepped up after the trade deadline. He had this quote of saying, what did he say? He was like, I sat out from injuries and then just watched the team, and it made me realize what I actually need to do. And then after that point, when he said that, he started, playmaking his ass off, stopped taking so many dumb shots, and then, come against this Thunder team. Everyone turns it over, but he was turning it over a lot, and then just couldn't get anything to go. Especially because like the box score was pretty bad, but if you watch the game, there was a lot of times he just dribbled around and then passed it to some role player with like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and that should be a turnover for himself.
No, and that's true. I mean, this was just a really poor matchup for Julius Randle because you think about what the Thunder specialize in, speeding guys up and making them make mistakes. And Julius Randle is a guy who historically speeds himself up, and he's worked on that a lot, and he's gotten a lot better at that, especially in this playoff run. But, it was always going to be a tough matchup for him in particular. And so I guess Yeah, it would have been nice to see him have a better series, but it's definitely more on Anthony Edwards from my perspective.
Also, I might have swayed you a little bit, but you did say, wait, what did Chet guard Randall in that series? Or did the OKC kind of run his own? Dude, it was so long ago, I already kind of forgot.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely don't feel like I don't remember Chet necessarily being like the primary defender. I'm sure he had like matchups, like he, got assignments on him.
Yeah, maybe it was like J-Dub or Dort.
But I feel like
I feel like Caruso had a lot of the matchup.
Caruso.
Oh, Caruso did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he started some of the second halves, and
Yeah.
no, he did. Yeah, I already like forgot the series, but
I mean, the Thunder can just put anybody on anybody almost at the end of the day. So
yeah. So I don't know. Shout out. I mean, the Wolves made it far. Good for them. But also, that was another team that was just, I don't remember them. Yeah, they were completely healthy. I just think that any year where you're a good team and you're completely healthy, there's no like, oh, we made it this far. Congrats.
yeah, and
Because we saw we just like the Pacers, we saw them do it last year. So it's not like there's some coming out team. No, they've done this before, and then Ant in the same situation did the exact same thing.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. As good as Ant is, as much as I feel like people love him, Shea was the better player on the better team. Like at the end of the day,
Yeah, he was.
he was the best player in the series, not just in his play, but also in overall. Like he just is the best player.
Yeah.
In the series. I don't know. It's for me, it's not a disappointment that they lost this year. Ant's still only 23. Like when you really put it into scope, yeah, from what we expect from him and what we've seen from him, we would have expected a better performance in these 2 conference finals. But he's 23 years old and he's made 2 conference finals. He's got a lot of time left to be able to accomplish what I think people feel like he's capable of. The big thing moving forward is Minnesota just needs to really tweak their roster construction. Rudy Gobert's like second end of his contract kind of kicks in this coming season, where he's going to be making $35 million instead of $44 million. So that makes that.
Oh, he got extended?
I think he did get extended because when you look at his contract, it drops from $44 million to now he's got 3 more years left on his deal,
Oh my god.
which had to be an extension.
Yeah.
So
Pack him up, bro.
I think now that his contract is dropped price wise, he's going to be easier to trade, and I think you have to. Julius Randle and Naz Reid both have player options. I wouldn't be surprised if Randle accepts his, but I would be shocked if Reid accepts his.
Yeah, I think Reed's gonna
Look
go.
at those DMs of Naz Reid and looked like the gambler.
Yeah, dude, Naz Reid is going off against some random dude.
He wants $100 million. Good luck.
I mean, he's a restricted free agent, right? So Minnesota can re-sign him.
What team has given Naz Reid $100 million?
Also, it's in Nikhil, a free agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a free agent, but also like you've got Terrence Shannon Jr. and Rob Dillingham that could come up and fill that spot in the rotation.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather like I like Nikhil Alexander Walker, but I'd rather give Rob Dillingham those minutes and see what he develops into, because I feel like him and Ant, if he develops like to his potential, would be an insane duo.
Honestly, they needed another scorer in that series.
They did,
I don't know why he didn't get any burn.
because he's just not there. He's still raw. He's just not there yet.
Well, they need a playmaker, which he can also be. Because yeah, they had what, like 15 turnovers in that first half or something
Yeah.
of the last game. That's unacceptable.
That's the thing too. I like Ant as a playmaker, but he needs to be put in a position where his mentality can be to score the ball.
You see what Paul George said?
What?
He said that Ant needs like a one step like post fadeaway or something, like to really unlock
Yeah.
his game.
That would actually help him a lot, because I feel like a lot of his game is downhill strictly, and he's great at it, but he just doesn't have a ton in that in between area. Like he can do it, but it's just not his comfort zone.
Yeah, people were flaming Paul George because people were saying Ant was already better than PG, in his prime. And even if that's true, which I don't think it is,
It's not true.
or maybe they're saying Paul George or Ant has already done more than Paul George has ever done, or like whatever. But like even if that's true, it's a good criticism. Like yeah, you can easily stop an Ant drive by like kind of doubling it, but it's pretty hard to stop just like a fadeaway like that, or just like a closer mid range shot.
Also, I hate when people like say that stuff, like try to criticize a player for giving advice because they're not as good as the other player.
He's still a
They're
pro.
saying you should never listen to a coach.
Yeah.
Like LeBron or Jordan or Kobe or any of these greats should have never listened to a coach.
Yeah,
Well, they were just better than their coach. Like, it's just stupid. People can give you valuable information even if they're not like as good as you. And let's be clear, Paul George in his prime was better than Anthony Edwards is right now. Top 3 in MVP voting. I mean,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, I'd
put
say so.
respect on his name.
Yeah, pretty easily. So, and then, yeah, we gave some credit to the Thunder. Wolves, I don't even know. I guess, yeah, you're pretty happy with it. I'm not sure how many moves you make, but yeah, Naz Reid is probably out of there, if I had to
I
guess.
think Naz Reid and Na are gone.
I think so. Naz Reid is obviously a really good player, but I think number one, you got to get rid of Rudy Gobert because I was looking at their stats, and their rebounding is not what it should be for having Rudy Gobert on the floor as an elite level rebounder, right? Which is what he's supposed to be, a shot blocker and a rebounder, and somewhat of a rim runner, but more of a like catch in the dunker spot, right? I think you need a guy like more like an Isaiah Hartenstein in that offense.
Well, that's pretty hard to find.
I know it's hard, but I mean, so what are guys that are like that, or a guy that's maybe raw that's like that? Like, is Precious Achua a guy that you'd be willing to like pay some money to? And
Oh, brother. Cam, this is why when I talk about the draft and redrafts and future and mock drafts, centers are this important because you can't find these centers. Like, you just can't. There's not that many playable centers in the NBA. I don't even think Naz Reid is that playable. That dude's defense is awful.
$5 million of Rudy Gobert right now. Why would you not like take a look at somebody like that at least?
Precious Achua.
But yeah.
Precious Achua.
Like, honestly, off the top of my head, I go down teams and I'm like, dude, these centers suck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I like literally just alphabetically. Besides Embiid, obviously, Sixers don't have a second set. I don't think Drummond is that good anymore. The Bucks don't have a good center right now. Call me crazy. I don't like Brook Lopez or Bobby Portis. The Bulls don't have a good Vucevic. No. And then whoever
Maybe if you're Minnesota, then you try to draft one this year.
The Dukesons.
they'd have to trade up again. Dude.
Yeah.
They just traded for Rob Dillingham, and now they're going to have to give up all their assets. I mean, well, no, what pick did they probably don't even have a pick, do they? It's probably the Jazzes. Bad, I guess.
Check. But yeah, just keep going. I'll check.
No, but they definitely do need to, because I still even think, yeah, Naz Reid isn't, like, he's great offensively, he's amazing too, but he is not good on defense. And there's a reason that Gobert's on-off is actually still good, because Naz Reid is just not really a 5.
So Minnesota actually has the 17th pick from Detroit.
I could trade up.
Oh, was that from, I guess that was from the Randall trade.
Probably.
Yeah, from Detroit via New York, Oklahoma City, and Houston.
I wonder if someone would fall, maybe like a Murray Boyles, you think?
Yeah.
Even though, like, how much of a 5 is, I think he could play the 5. He's 6'7", yeah, but defensively, like, he's looking like a bam on defense.
Yeah, but he's small.
He is, yeah. Yeah, I don't want a 6'7" center.
Yeah.
Dude, Hawks fans already shit on Onyeka for being like 6'9", 6'10". 6'7" would be crazy.
6'7".
All right, cool. So we talked about both of those. Let's go ahead and preview the finals, give our predictions. All year I've said the Thunder winning it all, and I think I'm just gonna stick with them. OKC in 6. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
6. I got 5. Okay.
You got 5?
I think it's gonna be crazy, but I think the series ends in 5 for either team. So either Pacers in 5
Well, I don't.
I hope not, dude.
or Thunder in 5.
I don't.
One of the teams is winning in 5.
OKC is not losing in 5. Like, they could lose in 6 or maybe 7, but I don't think they're losing 4 out of 5.
Dude, what do you think the odds are for the Pacers to win in 5?
I'm about to bet on it.
That has to be like plus 2,000. I'm not even kidding, dude. Do you guys see that? Like, apparently the Thunder are going to be like the 3rd highest favorites in NBA Finals history, behind the 17 Warriors and I think the 01 Lakers.
Man, those Warriors teams were just free money, bro.
Yeah.
They were.
They were literally just an investment.
Until they weren't.
Yeah, until they weren't. So, because 19, you could have said the same thing. They had Cousins. They had Boogie.
Yep.
They probably had so much money on them, on the futures and shit.
Yeah, but yeah, OKC is going to, I don't want to say dominate, because honestly, the Pacers have had the number 1 offense. I don't think anyone one-on-one can truly stop Halliburton, but Dort and, well, not even Dort, like Case and Wallace and Caruso will definitely slow them down. And I do think that the Pacers shooting is legit, so it's not like they're just going to fall off like the Wolves shooting did and the other teams, I don't know. But I just think they do have the best player in the series, and OKC has a legit team. They have a legit, like, 10 players they could run in the NBA Finals, and I'd be okay with it. Maybe not all 10 in the same game, but they have like 10 different guys versus like Halliburton in the Pacers. Yeah, maybe Brunson is better technically, maybe Mitchell's better technically, maybe Giannis is, but they didn't have the complete teams that this Thunder team does.
You're right. But the thing I will give Indiana credit for, and I was going to say this earlier too, is that maybe an Obi Toppin is not a guy like an Alex Caruso, obviously, who can fit into any rotation in any part of the league and be a consistent contributor, like a high-level contributor off the bench. But within the offense that they run, these guys, TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, Nembhard, I guess Nembhard starts usually. Does Neesmith also start?
Yeah, both of them.
So, I mean, Mathurin, these guys that come off the bench, right? Thomas Bryant, Thomas Bryant is a valuable contributor for this team. He hit 3 threes yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, I think within the scheme of their team, these guys will not get played off the floor. I think it's not like OKC where these guys are just good. It's just that the way they fit into the offense is so good that they can contribute regardless of what they're doing.
Oh no, I actually think the depth is actually pretty equal. I still give OKC the advantage, but I think the depth is pretty equal. But when you do go through the starting lineups, it's
Right.
like Shea's better than than Tyrese.
Yeah.
J-Dub is probably just as good of a player as Siakam. That's my opinion. I don't think that's crazy.
It's not crazy.
The third starter, I guess I'd say Miles Chet's a better player. Fourth starter, like you could go down and down. I'd probably take OKC for all 5. Oh, I don't know, Dort. I like Dort, but also his offense is. Then again, sometimes, dude, I watch Andrew Nembhard, and he does nothing for a whole game, and I'm like it's kind of crazy because you really think about the highs when you think of him, but like there are games where he does just end games with 6 points.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does that happen? You're a starter playing 30 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously, if Shea has a bad series, that changes things, but I don't think he's going to have a bad series because of his play style. The guys that I would think might have a bad series or could have bad series are J-Dub and Chet. Even then, if Chet plays aggressive, there really shouldn't be a reason he has a bad series.
I think they're going to dominate the boards, in my opinion.
I mean, they should.
Not even like just Chet, but yeah, like they have Hartenstein, they have Chet, they have.
But that's the thing. The Pacers, it's such a weird matchup because the Pacers play kind of similar, but also very different style of basketball. Like in the playoffs, they have played this swarming style of defense to try to force turnovers and get out on the fast break, right?
Yeah.
But offensively, they're a totally different type of team than the Thunder. They take less shots per game, actually, than the Thunder. It was interesting. I looked at it. So the Pacers have a slower pace. They take less shots, and they shoot a higher percentage than the Thunder.
How does that make sense? Wait, they play faster, but they take less shots?
I don't know what. No, they have a slower pace.
In the Thunder? Really?
Mhm. So in the playoffs, the Pacers have attempted 86 shots per game, and the Thunder have attempted 91 to 92 shots per game.
So Thunder just gets steals and run, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, a lot of their possessions are like 3 seconds long. So they just get the steal and then just get the dunk.
So it'll be interesting because I feel like in terms of the way the Pacers match up against the defense of the Thunder, which I feel like is obviously the biggest story, right? They match up pretty well for what the Thunder like to do because the Pacers do like to move the ball around a lot. They don't like to play this like isolation style of basketball, really.
That's what I was thinking. I'm not gonna lie, the Pacers probably pass the most in the NBA, if I had to guess. And like the more passes you throw, the more of a chance you're
I
gonna
don't know about that.
throw an interception,
The
dude.
Brooklyn Nets pass the ball a lot.
I wouldn't know. Are you kidding me? I
Corby, you're
don't think I watched a single game.
wearing Nets colors
Yeah.
right now.
Killian Hayes is on that team. You don't think has the ball?
Free Killian Hayes, bro.
For Killian Hayes.
I mean, Corby, the problem that you see with a lot of teams, I guess I get what you're saying, but like a lot of the problem with Denver, for instance, a team that passes the ball a lot, was the entry passes into the post against Jokic. Other than that, the turnovers were being forced on ball a lot of the time.
Although
Because guys like Christian Brown,
Westbrook would be throwing the ball nowhere.
I mean, yeah, but that's also, I like Westbrook, but that's also just Westbrook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure you like Westbrook. I've never heard a single good thing from you about Westbrook.
what are you talking about?
Have you ever heard of that from him? No.
What?
Name one good thing about Westbrook.
Name it.
His energy,
Name one thing that's basketball related.
just passing ability.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't think I'd hear that from you today.
You were
When I woke up, I did not think that I'd hear.
He's the biggest Westbrook hater I know. But he's just insane. I never
What is
expected.
happening?
I never expected this from his mouth.
I know.
This isn't.
What is this agenda?
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
What is
You're
going on?
owning up to your mistakes. You can.
I respect you for
I
that.
respect greatness.
So we can get back to the conversation.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the conversation.
And have I ever been to Westbrook?
Back to the conversation. The Thunder are gonna win comfortably, and if they don't, Pacers in 5.
It's a crazy take.
I mean, I guess the only way I could see it.
Pacers
Then again, the Pacers haven't gone to a game 7 yet. It's like
and they got the devil magic on their hands. But like,
They just sacrificed Jarris Walker last game.
it's true.
So
oh, did you get hurt? I saw he got minutes.
yeah, you got hurt. So Pacers in 5. The devil resides in Indiana.
Yeah, they sacrifice Caitlin Clark.
I'm going Pacers. You know what? Pacers in 5. That's my prediction.
That's your prediction?
Pacers in 5.
All right. If you're right, cool. You better bet on it.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm
gonna.
gonna do it. Fuck it. Catch the NBA Finals on Tubi. This is talk yours.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say.
so much else to say. It'll be an interesting series to watch.
On Tubi.
I'll-
Adam Silver's NBA, guys.
Jesus, too.
Hey, we will be streaming it.
Yep.
Or whatever, crack streams, whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I really want to talk more about the Thunder once they win it all, because then it's like they're gonna enter, like, this team was dominant, dude, like throughout the entire season. But like they still gotta finish the job. Like I still think the Pacers are a good team,
Once
and
this,
you have them winning.
this team becomes a dynasty, we're gonna hate them. So
Yo, Chet might get his first ring
Appreciate-
if ahead of Wemby.
appreciate the Thunder while you can appreciate
Yeah.
them, because when they're on ring number 3, you're not gonna be a fan of them.
See, that's why we should all be rooting for the Pacers, because like yeah, the Thunder will be back. That's the one team.
Man, they're not getting
whole
past
NBA,
Wemby.
bro.
We're not getting past Wemby, bro.
Wemby's gotta play.
Wemby that.
He's gotta play.
The Thunder have 1,000 first-round picks in the next 5 years.
What are they gonna do with him? Draft another Aaron
Probably
Wiggins?
trade him for Giannis and Jokic and like.
They need like another Usman Jan.
They actually did the stupid ass My League shit. I fucking hate this shit.
Yo, yeah, they actually
Exactly.
did that
Now-
shit.
Sam Presti literally played 2K.
That's crazy.
Dude, like, yeah, he did like a 4-year rebuild challenge and he won.
Yep. Now he's just gonna do that thing where he just wins like 7 championships in a row. I think I'm gonna cut it off here. You know, it's been real, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
You know what's funny? I think I still will like make a whole video on this, but dude, Thunder fans right now act like they went through the depths of hell in their rebuild. Bro, they had a 2-year rebuild. Like they're literally like what really it really pisses me off, because the OKC Thunder have been such a successful team for like the last 15 years. I understand they didn't have any championships or anything until now, but like as a team I mean, we're both smaller markets, but like as a team who never got to watch a superstar in my lifetime, being a Hawks fan, it pisses like dude, what I would do to have Kevin Durant on my favorite team.
You have
Yeah.
Trae Young.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He's the best playmaker in the league.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
He can't guard.
So appreciate it.
I am appreciate. He's a good player. He's a
Corey just said he's not a superstar.
he's a great player. He's not.
Would you call Trae Young a
Trae Young's more of a superstar than Jalen Brunson is.
Whoa.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Because
I don't
Brunson.
think so.
Well, also Brunson plays like when you play in New York and you're that guy. You're a superstar, dude. Dude, you go in public. I think more people recognize Brunson.
Then I feel like more people in New York would recognize Trae Young.
Yeah.
They hate him.
Oh, actually, well,
Yeah,
actually,
fuck
that's
that.
true.
How are you bigger than your own? Like Trae Young's bigger than Jalen Brunson in his own city.
That's true.
That's a superstar, bro.
I can't believe people were yelling "fuck Trae Young" after Game 2 of them being down 0-2.
Dude, we were talking about it. Like, let's go to New York if there's a game 7. Let's all wear Pacers jersey and have Corby wear the fucking Hawks jersey, the Trae Young jersey, and see who gets yelled at more.
It might be me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Dude, if I pulled up in a Trae Young jersey at a Knicks game 7 of the playoffs, let's say like I'm the no, all y'all are in Knicks jersey, and then like I'm the one guy on the broadcast that's like in the Hawks jersey,
Trae
dude. No. I think they might actually kill me.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not. You're not getting out there.
Security might even kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You're not getting out.
if I ruin the broadcast. By the way, I hate anyone who ruins the broadcast and wears like some stupid like. It's one thing if you go to the Thunder game and you wear a Timberwolves jersey, okay, sure. But dudes who wear like just a white T-shirt trying to be different,
Yeah.
and it ruins the whole.
You wear
aesthetic.
white a lot.
Not at an OKC Thunder playoff game.
Yeah, you wore a white shirt last day.
I did.
Last day.
Last day I did.
You wore white shirts at the Jazz playoff game.
No, me and Derek when we went to the game wore the shirt, even though we're not Jazz fans.
I can't believe y'all went to that game.
I can't believe y'all didn't.
I was busy.
You can cancel your plans, bro. Dude, that was the last time they made the playoffs. That playoff game that I went to for the Jazz,
Ever.
damn near. I mean, like when the hell are they gonna make it again?
Probably in the next 10 years when they get another like great point guard and great center / power forward.
Bro, I knew some Jazz fans who were like, "We're gonna get Cooper Flag, bro, buddy. Yeah, have fun with Trey Johnson." Like,
Wait a year, bro. They're gonna dive on stuff.
Yeah.
we'll see.
It's all in the cards.
It's in the cards.
But yeah, we don't even have to stop. We can kind of end it there. But yeah, Thunder fans, you have not gone through poverty. I understand those 2 seasons were really bad. It was 2 seasons,
It
dude.
was 2 years.
It was 2 years.
It's 2 years.
Yeah, you're not the Hornets, bro.
The Hornets. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you're not the Lakers.
Beat you over the head with this microphone.
Thanks for watching, you guys. If you enjoyed, I'd appreciate a like and something. And that's gonna be the video. Subscribe if you enjoyed.
Subscribe if you want to see his balls.